Welcome to the future. A place where you can find anything you desire. If the burner gangs don't find you first. Where the fastest racers are artificial. And if you're human, don't stand a chance. Star Circuit.
Yo,
Hey,
what's up?
Star Circuit!
Yeah, it always gets me hyped because I don't know, just the track alone. If we just played the music, I think we'd be into it. But the trailer is nice to see once in a while. What am I saying? We play it every week, so once in a while, dude. How you doing, Jeremy?
Doing all right, man. How you doing, man?
Doing swell. So this is another Art Bros. This is where we get together every week and talk about comics and several things. Sometimes games, mostly art, no matter what we're talking about. But yeah, we used to work together. Me and Jeremy went to high school back in the day. But yeah, we've been kind of hanging around each other ever since.
He used to bully me and like punch me in the stomach and beat me up in between classes and stuff. And that Catapano anger just has never left him. That's what the ranch joke is a callback to.
yeah. They revoked my black belt back then because I beat people up. And then, but yeah, it was it's an interesting thing how it all comes back together because we've never told the story of how like we kind of I don't know. I don't want to say found each other because that sounds like we've been
what had happened is
something.
Eventually after getting over 5 years after high school, some intense trauma after being bullied all those years under you, I finally like watched Kill Bill a few times and said, you know what, I'm gonna make a change. And I went and I learned how to do karate, and I came back and I beat your ass. And now we're doing comics, and it's an amazing story.
It's like a Cobra Kai kind of situation.
And
you started your own school. I started my own school, and now we're just competing.
You're Italian, I'm Anglo. See, it all works.
That's right. Works together. Yeah. No mercy.
Yeah. You know,
Ninja stars.
Ninja stars.
So welcome to the show. This is Art Bros.
Obviously not the true story. None of it. It's all lies.
No, that's all true, dude. I started my own dojo. Coleman's here, been hanging out for a while. Burrows, he says, Coleman, what do we do without you? I gave you a wrench today. I give you the mighty wrench. And it's funny because Coleman is not a coalman. He's a tradesman. He's an electrician. So he says a plumber's tool for an electrician, which is pretty funny. And then Collision Bomb's up in here.
What's up, Collision Bomb?
Bow wow wow. Little bow wow. and Sherry's here too. What's up? Says hi, Jeremy.
What's up, Sherry? How are you?
So while
is that
we're
you squeaking back there?
That is Cloud in the other room. Can you hear that? Is that pretty loud?
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay, just checking. I don't know how powerful this mic is.
Dogs, man.
Yeah, well, I'm working my audio situation, if you know what I mean. So sounds like that little dude is going crazy in the room. It was raining all day, so he probably didn't get to run.
Happy puppies.
Yeah, puppies doing their thing.
Happy puppies.
So yeah, we got a special guest today. We usually have a guest. This is one I've been meaning to get on ever since he put out a book called Kill Journal, and just slipped my mind, or we just like had so many like people ask, and then also you just kind of go crazy when you put out your own first campaign. So after Star Circuit came out, my brain was just like fried. And then you know how it goes. Jeremy's been here the whole time.
Watching, observing, learning, paying attention. You know,
for sure.
Yeah.
I should have you do like half the workload because it was for a while pretty oppressive. I was so stressed out for a while trying to keep it all together. But I'm sure that's how it goes your first time doing anything. Giggity. So let's
You set a precedence with the first book and the first campaign. Next time
Indeed.
you need a hand, I've got to meet that
well,
precedent.
next time, yeah, there's never the first time. So
Well,
you know, on your first time, you know, let me know if you need help. So yeah, let's intro Adam up in here.
I wouldn't give you the satisfaction, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. Come on. Yeah. Let's get a guest in here. It was a bad joke. It didn't come off well.
It's okay. It's okay. If there was another person in here, it might have landed. Who knows? I'm a little oblivious. What's up, Adam? Weirdest intro ever.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that's a killer mask. What are you wearing, dude?
So this is the Kill Journal mask. I've been parading it around. Kill Journal was my book before this. Came in this awesome red debossed cover with this gold foiling.
Jesus, it's crazy looking.
Art by the amazing Jason Krager in this book.
Jason
You can
Krager.
see who did Hammer.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what he did.
Yeah. And there's also these 4 shorter stories in here by other different artists.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see this is the rad book. And so one of the tiers, the top tier, was this mask. And these cool little symbols here, you'll find out if you back the book, or you can still get it now at Gifted Rebels. They tie into the story. So it's a little bit of mystery to unfold in that. But the top tier was these masks. These are the revenant masks that they're hunting. They're like slashers, if you will, but we call them revenants in our tale. And so everyone got these before Halloween, all those backers, and I got plenty of DMs of people everybody who got this wore this for Halloween. That is
really?
for sure. But it's a beautiful, it's a high resin mask, and it was just a campaign only experience.
Dude, that looks awesome, man. So I wanted to leave it on the screen because it was so detailed.
Oh God, put it back on.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't know what we had underneath.
Low-hanging fruit joke.
No, you had to go for it. Yeah. So put it up on the inside so you can wear it and survive the night. But it's
awesome.
And now it becomes
Nice.
Cool.
So if there's a wrench out there, put up Gifted Rebels, the website, if you can do that. Because I don't have that in the description. It's the only thing I don't have. I will add it though. I do have your new book going to Indiegogo in the description, so that's good. But I will add the other one, and we'll get some wrench up here to get the new link. So Adam, I wanted to, like I said, get you on the show for a while because there's so much that you kind of I don't know if you're leading the way about it with anything, but you're definitely got it together. It seems like you got it all together when it comes to making things happen for comics. Is this what's your experience with making comics? Why are you so confident? Maybe is the way I would put you.
Yeah, well, no, so what I do for a living is I'm a television showrunner. So I write and direct TV for a living.
Oh,
and
nice.
and comics is something I've loved all my life, and so I wanted to so here's the website. That's my first graphic novel, The Eighth. That's showing the video here. It's a cool slipcase, awesome item. And so that's our Shopify store, and on there are the 2 graphic novels, and then our RPG game, Asunder, is also there. You can see this is the real deal, fantasy experience. So that's all there. But I think so. So for myself, from a standpoint, writing profession, I've been doing it for 20 years in Hollywood, and so on that side, there's some confidence in the sense that I've come to discover my weaknesses. Right? I think that's where the real confidence comes, when you know your weaknesses and you know how to get ahead of them, and you know how to surround yourself with the right creatives to help you, and you also have learned the mechanics of how to tell a story in a way that's compelling, versus where maybe sometimes early on when I was first starting, you're struggling with structure or how to set, have your setups and your payoffs really execute. But fortunately that, after years of work, those have come behind me. And so now, in comic books, I wanted to do something special because I was actually in 2020, I was going to be showrunning a TV show for Warner Brothers, and then the pandemic came and killed it. And I said, you know what? Hey, I've got this window of time now to go do this comic book thing I always wanted to do, and it was the 8th, and it was an 8-issue series, and I had 5 of them done. And I just was doing it all on my own dime, just like, someday I'll get this published, And I said, well, you know what? Let me go for it. And so that started with the 8th, and then I followed that up later that same year, last year, with the Kill Journal, which had also been a story I'd had in the works, and I had some struggles with the artist. Jason Krieger is the 3rd artist, who ultimately delivered the book. The first 2 kind of fell out, which always stinks for budget and doesn't help your timetable. But and neither does printing in China, though you can get all this rad stuff. But then now in our modern world of the Long Beach port, that you can't get a ship through.
So you're saying your experience came from writing for TV first? Is that the gist of what?
Yeah. So my experience as far as like delivering products and delivering things at a finished level was, I've been delivering film, and I've delivered over 100 episodes of TV, multiple movies, hundreds of commercials, and so I've been through this process of creation for a living for a while. Now this is specific as unique things, when you're delivering a print book versus a digital delivery. But when it comes to design and branding and all that stuff, a lot of it all carries through. So that was really helpful for me. I'm
always wondering where people get their experience, and it seems like a lot of creativity kind of swaps between different modes. Like I'd say, storyboarding can tie into drawing comics. Writing for TV might really translate to comics real well because the episodic maybe nature of some of them. Is that what you find? Like, is it like an easy kind of crossover?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of storytelling similarities between television and comic books because of the fact that, one, you're also writing something that isn't something that the audience reads. A novel, you write the thing they read. A script, you write the thing that no one reads. A comic book, you write the script that no one reads, right? They actually experience it. It's going to get modified into a visual medium, and so that's meaningful. And I think that's helpful. And I think really it's trying to understand, from a storytelling standpoint, is how do you drive your story based on actions and showing versus explaining your world, right? Like that's like probably like almost the worst comic book is when you get in the first 5 pages, there's somebody explaining the world. It's like
exposition. Right.
Yeah, and it's not even exposition. It's exposition. It's telling you things the characters already know. So why would they ever tell you those things?
Yeah, unnatural. Yeah, just out of the way. Yeah.
Right. One of my favorite moments in cinema, and I think it applies to comic books as well too, is this great moment in The Dark Knight Returns where the Joker sticks a pencil on the table. And he says, I'm going to do a magic trick. And he slams the guy's head into it and he kills him. And that moment was more powerful than lots of the big explosions that happened in that film. Mm-hmm. Because of how much it said about that person in one moment, right? Just how mad he really was. And I think that when trying to approach writing a graphic novel, it's a similar thing, right? Like, how do you show people your story because there's stakes and consequences happening right away, versus here's our world and we have these cool people over here, this kind of armor. It's just like it's just nobody's actually in it for that.
They're in for the character, and they'll follow the character into the world if you make them believable. And I think that's true. I like that that explanation, that example of the Joker. I know my editor, I use Lee. I don't know why I'm blanking. Kimasabi. I don't know why I'm blanking on his real name, but Kimasabi always harkens on that too, where the first time you intro somebody in your story, they need to be doing something that is specific to them. Only they would do this one thing, because it's like you said, it's going to speak like volumes about them, just like you said about the Joker.
And also too, to drive your story on stakes and things that require people to earn things. Mm-hmm. So in Kids Monsters, right, with this tale, in page 1, you find out that the kids' parents are fighting. And because their parents are fighting, they've been able to see these cracks in the earth. Because essentially what the story is these kids trying to survive their parents' looming divorce, right? Mm-hmm. and that gets them pulled into this war between monsters and beasts, and the beasts are trying to rip the world in half, right? Very much like their family is. And so now, right away, instantly, what Gatsby's problem is, his parents are on the verge of divorce, and he's seeing these cracks in the world, and we know it right away. We don't explain to you that, about the world or where Gatsby's from. You just know what's in it for him right away. It's a teenage boy who just doesn't know how to fix his family. And then that leads us into him. He sees these cracks. He tries to get his help from his sister. His finds out his math teacher's a cultist, and he's following him, and he's uncovering it. And we get to come along the ride with him, right? And as the world expands.
That's brilliant. Yeah, I like that.
But then you're really seeing what's at stake for people right away. It happens with his sister Mally. Like the first time we see her, she's getting in a fist fight with a girl at school, because the girl is saying, that she's been seeing her mother out with someone else at night, and this creates this, fight. So right away, how she's handling her problem. She has all this anger, and she's handling it by beating this girl up, right? And the other kids turn on her, and right away we get what's at stake for people, because I feel like, stories where characters gain powers without paying prices for them tend to be really empty. And right, Jeremy, it's like you just end up, you're just reading nothing. You're just reading words. Whereas like one thing I think that makes Batman meaningful and why he's stood the test of time is because his parents are murdered in front of him, and as a reaction to this, he became a monster, right? He became this thing. So it speaks to what's in it for him before he has powers, right? He's just a guy, and I think that's so, really a way to see things, at least I think from a storytelling standpoint.
Yeah, I forget what term that, because I follow this one book. I don't know if you read this book. It helps me a lot. It's by Brian McDonald, called Invisible Ink. And I base all my stories on that book. But I forget what he calls that thing. It's like a sacrificial kind of coming of age. Like without that kind of test that you go through to get whatever powers, or to whatever gets you to the next stage of life, or in the story at least, the next plot point or the next point in that character's life. Yeah, without a test, without some sort of, it does feel empty. I think that's maybe what's wrong with a lot of movies, and maybe what's wrong with the new Star Wars characters. They just don't have the problems that the old ones did, and without those problems, there's nothing to balance the powers and the uplifting end. So there we go. Coleman bringing in Ray. Don't speak thy name.
I think Joe, you're saying a lot of it is right, that there isn't, and there is this, sacrifices that come, but there's also, that the characters are going to change along the way. In the Kill Journal, our character, she starts out, her daughter's been killed by a slasher. She shows up at this self-help group for people who have survived these attacks. She doesn't want to join the group because she's afraid she's just going to screw it up, like she screwed everything else up in life, right? She failed as a mother, and which resulted in her child's death, right? And so this is then her journey, is to overcome that she's a failure, right? And she's going to do it in the most violent way possible, because you're hunting slashers, and so she's got a chainsaw to try and solve this. And that's the comic side of it, right? That we put it in some fantastic world, like with you with Star Circuit, you put it in some cool cyberpunk reality, but at the core, it's a woman who's trying to overcome trauma, and she just doesn't know how to do it.
It's what you're saying. Like I always give like these. Somehow everything comes to a racing pun, but for me, like the shiny shell that you see on a motorcycle is there to pull you in. You're like, oh, cool, shiny. But all the mechanics, all the things that make it work is like you said, the character-based stuff. In my book, it's just like all the problems, him dealing with his ex-girlfriend, that everybody has these experiences that they can relate to. You're on the nose there, I think. So I'm really excited for Kill Journal, even though I didn't get the book because I'm strapped for cash. But I will. I plan to.
Nice. Well, it will be around. It will be around. It's
you're gonna keep it up on Gifted Rebels for a while.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're going to be publishing it long term. So in fact, we've already started to run we have a little marketing company. We've been running ads, and we've been pre-selling more copies through that. We've been selling a handful of copies every day,
Nice.
as well as the 8th. And so yeah, no, so we're off to the races with it. But with,
Excellent.
Just real quick, this page feels so authentic 90s to me.
Oh, yeah,
good.
Like,
Yes, yeah.
like it sends me back in time. Like the playing the video game in front of the TV, the friends jumping in the window to say hi, and just the color usage of the style. It's awesome.
Dude, thank you for
Yeah.
that. I think certainly inspired by that moment. And this is, Maxi Dallo, the artist, his magic. I draw the layouts, but boy, they're bad. Because I do a layout and a script to help just speed up the process, right? To like say, hey, what I thought. And then he makes it actually special. But and I know, see, in this moment, right, like you say, I love that. She comes in like, hey, I'm going to sneak into your bedroom window. And he's like, that's kind of aggressive. And she's like, yeah, that's me. And they kind of get together right away in the story, because I didn't want their teen romance to be about coming together. Because I always kind of feel like that's such an empty story, because, oh, I'm cute, he's cute, well, they like me.
Yeah.
It's very profound. It's not a very profound idea. What is profound is like they get together quickly, and then they're going to struggle on this battle, and then try to stay together. And that kind of also mirrors, a reflection of what is happening to their parents. They're then trying to deal with.
Yeah,
so this is their.
I was going to say, that brought up a question. I'm sure Jeremy's got them too. Is this an analogy from like them trying to get through understanding and dealing with their parents' divorce, or is this like a correlated metaphysical kind of connection between the monsters and the parents? Maybe I'm missing something. I wanted a clarification. Is that like something they're dealing with imaginary, or is that like all really happening, but it just happens to? Okay.
So it's really physically happening.
But it's a narrative relation that he's trying to like tell the story, and that hits everybody in the audience at a core base level that we all experience. That's the relationship of the storytelling, correct?
That's right. You hit it perfect. Yep. And so it's not that it's sitting there saying, this is a metaphor for my parents' struggle. It's that they mirror each other in what's happening. And it's not like it's sitting there telling you all about divorce. It's that that's what the kids' trauma is, struggle is. It's like, oh no, my parents are on the verge of what could be are they going to split up, right? Which is a terrifying thought for any teenager, right? Or any young kid,
But it happens.
So it happens. It certainly does. And I think so many of us can relate to it on both sides of the line, whether we know someone or it happened to us, et cetera. And so then this war that's going on. So the red beasts are trying to rip the two worlds. So there's the world within that you and I don't know about, and then there's the world that we know. And when Gatsby starts to see these cracks in the earth, he starts to see the world within. And the red beasts are trying to rip the two worlds apart, so everyone will be miserable like themselves. And so there's these 6 rings, you can see one here, that are holding it together. And these rings are kind of the signs of these promises, if you will, that hold them together. And they're breaking them apart. And once all 6 have been broken, the two worlds separate.
Wow.
And so the monsters are the good guys in the story. And they used to be a rowdy bunch, and then they were dignified, and they made an oath to protect the world so that to prevent them from separating. And so the kids then get involved in this war, and the monsters become their allies. And the monsters live in backpacks, except inside of the backpack is a big castle, but on the outside it looks just like a backpack. Kind of like from Dungeons and Dragons, we had a bag of holding, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The opening was just an opening to a pocket dimension. Jeremy understands that well.
Yeah. I think I'm a Green Lantern fan, and there's a little bit of that there with the storing their lantern in like a pocket dimension.
Right.
But yeah.
And so then this is Gatsby meeting his monster Gren, that's inside of one of these backpacks. And then for the kids to be able to see the backpack, they have to overcome sort of some personal weakness, right? So they can see the backpack that's meant for them. And this is his, and inside is Gren, who is a monster that's somewhat reflective of him. Gatsby's kind of the Rubik's Cube solving brainiac kid, and his monster is like this woodland alchemist, right? He brews these potions.
It's a potion seller. That's what I was getting into.
Nice. So it's like, is that like a, say, like an avatar of them in some ways, like a,
Actually, I wouldn't say that it's an avatar of them, more like it's a reflection of them, or it speaks to something that they had to overcome. Yeah, right. It's like a totem. Mally, his sister, his older sister, she has all this anger because she doesn't know what's happening with her life and she doesn't know how to use it. And then Gren is trying to teach her, hey, your anger can be channeled to get you through this, to get you through obstacles, right? Along the way, as they're trying to escape from beasts, etc. And once she starts to see that, she finds her backpack, and in it, her monster is this raging ogre berserker, right? Which is like this reflection of this anger, right? So like the monsters are suited for the wearer, if you will.
Right. Yeah, I like things like that, because anytime it means it's personalized. It means that, I feel like if I was, especially maybe a young adult trying to read this, I would connect to it, wonder what my monster would look like, or kind of relate that way.
Yes.
I like a lot of the skateboarding. It's very punk. I'm glad they're in there. So is this like a period piece? I know you brought it up, Jeremy. It was almost like as if it was. Is this modern, or is this a little bit set back?
It's set in the modern day. I think that, it's in that loose world of like, it's in the modern day in the sense that they've got cell phones, and it's not like speaking back to a time, but that it's maybe in a sleepier town that's still kind of stuck back in the day.
Yeah. Gotcha. Maybe they're in like 2008-ish technology.
Like Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Where are you go for it.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, where are you broadcasting from there, Adam?
I'm in Burbank.
Nice.
California. So I'm right in the heart of Studio City world here. Like Nickelodeon is out the window this way,
Nice.
Cartoon Network this way, and Disney Animation that way. So I'm right in the heart of it. But it's interesting because I'm going on a shoot this weekend, shooting a commercial, and we're going to be in this small town in Pennsylvania. And that's what made me think about that. Like, that town does not look any different, and the people are not dressing any different than they did in 1995. Zero changes.
I was going to say, bag
just
your
modern
clothes.
cell phones, and that's all. It's all that updated.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, I stopped by Burbank once. I only was in California for like a week or something. But either way, I was at some point wanting to try to do storyboards more seriously.
I went street. Yeah. I was south. I went to LA twice and was like, I don't know if I could do it there. So I stayed at the beach town south and tried to slum it.
Great. Fun times. Yeah,
storyboarding is a good living. I hire them all the time in commercials. They make storyboard artists for commercials make a lot more money than comic book artists for comics.
For sure.
By a lot.
Yeah, I'm actually
and they deliver art that's not so great looking, and they get paid a lot more. Yeah.
I've done plenty, not plenty. I've done a good amount, enough where I have enough of a portfolio to show. Yeah, I know, because it's like, man, because I recently kind of I do DoD right now for, graphics for DoD stuff, which is another level of, kind of tedious graphic work. But I was like, I'd rather do storyboards. So I was like, let me branch out a little bit. So I've done some commercials, but it does pay pretty solid.
Yeah, it's a better paycheck. But it's like, when you think about like the comic book industry has like, they're like, the print comic book industry in the U.S. does $1 billion, right? The commercial advertising is $185 billion. So they're not really. It's not in
the same ballpark at all. Yeah.
They're not the same thing. No. It's like my buddy who works for Goldman Sachs is not living a different life than my buddy who's throwing brick. They work hard, but it's a different life.
Right. Yeah. Totally different. Yeah. That's cool backpack.
I know. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That's courtesy of Red Valkyrie. So she hit me up and was like, Adam, her and I have been good pals. She wrote one of the short stories in Kill Journal that are tucked in there. And she's like, hey, you have this story about kids in monsters, finding kids with monsters in their backpacks. Like, why don't you have that backpack? And I was like, I love backpacks. They're my favorite thing. I have too many of them. And she's like, well, let me get this together. And so she did this design and got the company that does them. And so I love it. Yeah.
I'm seeing like a whole monster head on the backpack, and I don't know if she meant to, and I don't know if you've noticed it, but the shade here is the right eye socket. The shade here is the left eye socket. Here's the pocket with the teeth of the mouth.
Yeah, like
that's the mouth. Oh, wide open, and then this punk hairdo right in front of it.
Jim, I think
flock
you
of
were the
seagulls
first who
monster,
saw that. Dude, because if you scroll up a little bit, Joe, you can see where the monster.
Yeah, Jeremy's on it. Nice.
Oh, sorry, Jeremy. You can see right there if you scroll up one more. So you can see one more. You see where the blue is? So that pocket, when you open it up, there's the monster inside the pocket.
Oh, nice.
Cool. All right. That's
right?
neat.
But what you did right there, that's a new monster. Is what I'm seeing right there. That's a new one. I love that. And so what's cool is the backpack is cell shaded. I used it initially because I have it on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And so I launched on Indiegogo first. I thought, I'll put it on Kickstarter because that's how I do the board games. And so I thought, I'll just drop it on there. I did 0 push for it. I said, let's see what happens. And it really took off there as well. And with nothing. And that's where I first dropped the backpacks was on there because you kind of have to separate your campaigns so they don't so they let you do both. It needs to be it's different. And so and it was the backpack, and then I migrated it over here to Indiegogo as well. And
that's really cool, man.
So now I got to back it because I found my own monster in the campaign. Yeah.
I mean, you totally did, Jeremy. You were the one who saw that.
Can you can you go all the way up, Jerem? I was gonna say, so we can see the. I want to see like the rundown of perks and whatnot. Before things get away from me.
Trailer.
Oh yeah, trailer. What do you think?
Do it. Pull the trigger.
Hold on, gotta get this.
I started seeing the cracks just after Mom and Dad began fighting. They were thin as pencils at first. Then they got bigger. And things started to disappear. Beasts are pouring out of them. Beasts trying to rip the world in two. Just like my family is being ripped in half by my parents. But we're not alone. There are keeps shaped like backpacks hidden in the world within. They hold monsters for those willing to fight. Here, monsters are not the things to be afraid of, but embrace. Monsters are the ones who are going to save us.
Bow every day. That's
I dig it. Wow. I like that, man. That's a cool trailer because it's
not the Star
story-based.
Circuit trailer. It's not the Star Circuit trailer, but it's
Well, I'm jealous, man. Like every time I look at
That's
this,
still badass. That got me so pumped for that.
yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like just like any work of art, you look at it and all you see is like what you don't have. So when I see the Star Circuit trailer, I see no story, and yours, you get a good gist of the plot, or not plot, the pitch. I dig it.
Nice, dude. Thank you. Well, I try to hopefully with each of the trailers that I've done, like how can you encapsulate the story in under a minute? And you tell me, guys, do you guys watch trailers when you go to campaigns? I've backed over 170 of them, and I've quit watching them in general. But do you guys watch trailers when you go to the pages?
Yeah, I do. Just because I want to see what everybody else is kind of doing.
Okay.
For me, it depends. Like some campaigns just sell me without watching the trailer, but I'd say about half of them, if the trailer is either the starting point or the ending point. Like if something is a little bit like I'm not unsure about, I think the trailer like clears it up for me. Maybe it'll give me more of the vibe. But yeah, I think just for this one, because the music adds to it, and you don't necessarily get a vibe like that without watching the trailer. The music does give you like, oh, this is for just the music gives you a little bit of like a Stranger Things vibe for some reason with the music, and so people that might
Yeah.
like the show might like this now because of that,
All right.
And
I'll
even
take
though
it
they're
back.
not really in the same genre,
Right,
necessarily.
that's right. And I like trailers and I like them, but I think at some point I've kind of like, you got to be careful. Read what the story is. Look at the
Right.
pages. Okay, that's the book I'm gonna get.
Mhm.
But I hear what you're saying. Like the trailer, often if I'm gonna watch it, it comes at the end, Joe. Like you have watched
Yeah.
it, you've read it, like, oh, I like this. Let me extra like this.
Right.
Well,
I think the
let's
goal.
let's just rewind, go through the campaign, and watch this again.
Yeah, perfect. I was gonna say we can
No.
bookend it. 'Cause bookending is always good, man.
Yeah, and tell me, Jeremy. I don't know because I know Joe is doing art. Jeremy, are you doing art as well?
Yeah, let's
or what?
I'll bring you up, Jeremy, if you want. It's a good segue, real quick, just to show you off. I'll bring up yours.
Oh, we could have waited to end cap there.
Yeah, I mean it's a good segue, man. I'm not trying to kill the flow.
Yeah, natural flow. Gotcha. Well, I've got it up here anyway because I'm prepped for you to toss me the branch. But I'm in sign up right now, guys, for BECKONED.
There you go.
You guys have been seeing me around for a bit doing this, and every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zate Studios channel on YouTube, you can come into the chats and roast me like no one everybody else while I work on the project. But it's only I got 5 months left to work on the book, so this has only been in sign up for a month. You guys have been seeing it around. You can right click and open a new tab to get a closer look at the artwork and everything and see what's going on.
Dude, I'm telling you, this look at see that image right there that you've got. Look at this.
We got
from the
Joe.
sun
Make him big.
I
Give him
shall.
a mushroom. Make him big.
Yeah,
Let me just show you this here.
a Super Mario.
Okay, here we go. Okay, where did that just? Of course, in the pinch you can never find.
You can never find
Look
it.
at your look at see how they have this, how they have the city.
Yeah, cool.
Coons in the trees.
Oh yeah, man.
Look
Very
at what you
neat.
got there in your city.
Reminiscent.
Right? You
I've
see how
got-
like the little cocoons?
I got
built up there
technology.
fast?
I got
Yeah,
Gaia Punk technology making those. Those are what I call soil cores, and in my group on Friday we call them rotten eggs. So yeah.
Have I signed up for this? Am I on the sign up for this? I gotta see this, man. This is
I don't
incredible.
know.
These pages.
So also as well, like I said, I'm working on a wrap cover right now. So you guys have been on the show watching me do my wrap cover. That's just a reference image that I've got for my characters there. So, and then
It's coming along, man.
Thank you, buddy. So that was the page 2 and 3 because I got a page 1 I got to do. Page 3 is here, and a lot of you guys have seen the page 3 or page 4 now. So
Yeah, this might be the first time I've seen it in full.
oh really?
Yeah, I mean, the last time I saw it, maybe not all the background was being put in yet. I don't remember the guy running in the back.
Yeah, I got to work on some lighting, another lighting pass. There's a guy up there and a guy up there. They're tiny details because so early in the book, I'm not trying to tell you everything. I'm trying to give you a little like Where's Waldo with stuff, just a tiny bit. Like it's that intrigue. It's like okay, pretty place, and then this. How do we get from A to B? This is my visual Pavlov's gun. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this, Jeremy, what you're doing here. This art is incredible. Are you doing colors too?
Yeah, I'm doing it all. So these were my
He's
thumbnails.
kind of like he's like a what I would call, he's like a what did I say before? Renaissance man.
An insane, crazy
sorts.
man. A
Yeah,
nutcase.
Yeah, something like that. You're crazy creative.
Well,
yeah,
we did that. Yeah. We, that's what we do. That's what we do.
So yeah, show your sign up page again, because that way we can.
Gotcha. Boom. There you go. And then the link for that is in the description of the shows because Joe is so very gracious to me and being my art bro. Yeah,
that's right. There's no other way.
His coattails are some of the best to ride.
I just signed up myself.
Oh,
I
man.
just signed up myself because it looks
you.
incredible. Of
That
course.
very day. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
I think so, man.
There's
Yeah,
a
this
website.
is.
There's a website,
Oh.
zstudios.com that you guys can go to. The zstudios.com is just kind of a very quick brief about us, the news and whatever. The second tab is the video game Beckon that we have the prototype on Steam that everybody can go play for free right now. Remember, it's just a prototype, but it's an RPG. Think about Final Fantasy mixed with Super Punch Out. And you've got a good 40-minute demo pending. That's kind of the average playtime if you get all the way to the credits. But yeah, go check that out over here. And then again, the sign up for Beckon Recourse. There's a link over here on the webpage too. It takes you right back to the Beckon Recourse. If you really want to know who I am and what my art style is, ThevenotArt.com. Go check it out. That's me. Whatever. Thank you, Joe. Bow every day. Let's get back to Kids and Monsters.
Wow.
Yeah, you have
this is dope, dude. This
solid presentation.
This Steam setup here. This is really cool. I'm getting excited about this. I'm gonna have to check that out. I love that. I've done a lot of work in video games.
Have you written for any games?
Sorry, say again.
Have you written for any video games?
I worked on Borderlands before it became the Borderlands
Yeah.
And then
I say writings for that is pretty good. So.
Yeah, there's not what you know.
Okay.
They scrapped the game early on. They did a full dump. It looked 100% different vibe. They did a full scrap and started over. I love it. No, but I've produced so many commercials for Fallout 76, Fallout, Destiny, God of War, so much. Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, that's awesome that you have such a...
Beckon looks really, really cool there. So good, congrats on that, Jeremy.
I appreciate it. My older brother programmed it, and I did everything else. So having a blast doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say you're like a renaissance man of this type stuff, Jeremy.
I love it. I love it.
And
but
I dig that you got your hands in everything too, Adam. Like you're
look, he's got a tabletop RPG to sign up for. I'm a Rollmaster fan. Guys, go get into that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
You can check it out. The books have just actually arrived this week here from China, and so it's off on its way. There's 2 books, a player and a keeper's guide, and a keeper's screen and minis, and we also got, of course, all the minis.
Damn, nice.
Oh, and some of those are in this campaign, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
No, so I did do a figurine. Yeah, I did do a figurine.
It's sold out. Oh.
Yeah, somebody bought it. It's awesome. I used to keep it on my desk, but then somebody bought it, and I'm like, I got to put that in a box so that it doesn't accidentally then get knocked off my desk, because it's a custom sculpt and paint, and it's like, of course, it's gonna, now that I've sold it, it'll get knocked off my desk before they get it. So, anyways,
yeah, I'm not a tabletop game guy, but that looks awesome, man. It makes me want to try. Maybe it'll give me an excuse to come go see my bros like Jerm. I'll do some tabletop. Who knows?
He'll never do tabletop.
You don't think I will? You don't think I'm that
Sherry
bold?
would be in the other room and be like, nerds, and then leave.
Yeah, she would, but I would still do it. I'd still do it. I actually, I'm not against it.
Actually, she'd actually probably jump in on it. She would probably join in.
Yeah, she's creative herself. She's done a lot of things.
Yeah, she's cool.
Actually,
she's an artsy type. She could do it.
Way more. Yeah, she's very much into that. So let's go through the perks before we run out of time, because I want to talk about a couple other things as we go.
Featured perk. Get this one, guys. It's featured for a reason.
Well, let me know what Adam thinks here. What do you think is what's your best value? Do you think it's the featured perk?
Yeah, I think the featured perk is the best value, because for $65 you get the T-shirt, which is awesome. There's this rad, cool T-shirt. I do all the design. You get the hardcover, and it's an oversized hardcover book. Kids and Monsters is, by the way. So it's European style. So it's an 1.5 inch bigger on top and bottom. On the top, on the sides.
9x12, or what is it?
No, it's not quite 9x12.
It's 8.3 by 11.7.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
You understand. So it's kind of almost 9x12, but it makes it so much more fun when you open it up, because you feel so immersed in it. Small panels become much bigger. So you get that, and then you get the ash can. So there is an ash can for a new story called Nail and Goo. It's set in the same town as Kids and Monsters, and you later on, when we scroll down, we'll show a little bit about that. But it's a campaign exclusive ash can. It will only be available during the campaign and not
I love
after.
this feature perk. This is a good, solid feature perk.
Yeah, so you get a pretty sweet deal at the end of it. It'd be hard to beat that deal anywhere. And especially because the T-shirt is not a digital print; it's a screen print with, on a Bella canvas, high-end T-shirt. They are not cheap to make. And
is that done with your fulfillment company? I know you have a fulfillment company that does some of the books and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, so that's called Air House, and they just do the shipping in a warehouse. But the shirt agency is the one who does the shirts. I don't know if you know this, but Los Angeles is kind of the hub of T-shirt making in the United States, and interestingly enough, like the Japanese artists I follow, when they do a shirt, it comes to you from LA themselves.
Nice,
because we're such a T-shirt hub. But so that's the sweetest deal. It gets you fully in, and I'm a guy who wears my indie T-shirts. I got Mary Boys, I got Lost Pages, I've got Alterna stuff because it's like you get
Mavericks.
You get it,
Mavericks.
Oh, dude, you get the Mavericks one.
Oh, and here was the cool parts. Joe, make me big. Mushroom.
I mean, mushroom, you do.
So Mavericks, Nefarious over there at Global Frequency. I got the Xenobog. I believe that's the name. Chernobog. That's what it was. Chernobog. And the nice little shipping package with the print. That's not a sticker. That's printed on the package.
For sure. It's a solid poly bag, dude. Yeah. I won one of theirs. I won one of their baseball tees. I have to show that off next time. It's pretty sweet.
No, they've done really cool stuff. I'm really impressed with how hard they've pushed it and how they've worked. I feel like Joe, you've done the same thing. You worked so hard,
dude. They put me to shame. I did a little bit of work. They planned out Nefarious knows.
Yes.
He's a businessman.
That detail guy. He's so good at what he did on that.
So good.
No, I totally get it.
All of them, Garrett and Frequency Girl, like they just as a team, they do everything so well.
Totally.
True.
And they just went to cons. They just hustled. They just pounded the pavement on a level that, like, okay, you deserve everything you got. You did it right. Yep. And
and they have quality. Yeah. So
I'm going to be excited to read Mavericks. That will be the ultimate test. I'm sure, is the book good, right? That's always the question.
Right.
I have high hopes.
Me too.
There's the digital tier.
Yeah, speaking of, I don't know if you got anything extra. I have a book in there too, so look out for a side book for Mavericks as well.
Yeah, I got. He's got an alt cover, and I've got one of the stretch goal tiers. So I did a Chernobog art piece for the stretch goal. So you might be getting that too.
I hope I am. That campaign was incredible. That was a great campaign. So.
So let's get through the perks. So you have a digital one. So you're on that camp. You're on the digital camp.
Yeah. So I do my digital different. I start delivering you the issues every month. So by January 1, you're going to get issue 1. There's 3 issues in Kids and Monsters. It's 72 pages. Plus there's the ash can. So you're going to get an issue in January, February, and March. You're going to get them as they're being completed. And I did that with the 8th. I think it was very successful. A lot of people love that because I think digital backers lots of times are foreign, or they're people who are kind of, it's a disposable thing for them. And quick reads. And so anyway, so that's how the digital delivers, and that will be for everyone who backs the book.
I like that approach. Very cool. Because I'm actually having trouble with that right now, Adam. I'd been delayed on Star Circuit, which I'll talk about in just a second. But either way, I delayed everything. I delayed digital. I wanted everything to go out seamlessly, physical and digital. So now the digital people are like, why am I waiting so long? If why am I delayed? Even though I'm not getting something printed. I'll talk about that in a second, though. That's interesting.
Let's keep moving. Yeah. So moving on, kids, the graphic novel, Kids and Monsters graphic novel, 25 at your base, and that's for the hardcover. That you're offering just hardcover, man. I'm always doing that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to highlight keywords to guys. I'm not trying to be a punk about it. All right, awesome. So excellent price for a hardcover graphic novel. This is excellent. Love it.
Yeah.
So
I
that you
figure
got that cover.
you have to give people a value that works after the campaign ends, right?
Yeah.
Like a 48-page perfect bound book for for $25 is a little rough long term, right? Like people are like,
Mhm.
what? Yeah, but
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's a solid. I think $25 hardcover for that many pages. That's insane. That's really good.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Yeah.
good price.
Yeah. What is the page count again? Sorry about that.
It's 72 pages.
Oh,
This is
damn.
volume
Yeah.
one. So this is volume one, and it's 72 pages. So yes.
Excellent.
Very
Excellent.
good. Good
Yeah.
deal.
I'd say it
And
is a
then
good deal. Yeah.
and then for $33, you're gonna get the ash can and you're gonna get the hardcover. You're gonna get the exclusive item. It's gonna be a much lower print run, so it's obviously a little pricier. But for $33, you get the one. You get that full package. People who sign up on the pre-launch list have a secret perk, and they get both for $25.
Nice. Nice.
I think I signed up for this. Maybe I should go look through my emails.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then this is, I wanted to deliver the book also in black and white, the line art. And when we're done with the perks, we can scroll down to it. Because I love the black and white version, especially because Maxi, lots of times people who are, doing the line art, they're doing it, I shouldn't say simplistically because they're planning on it being colored. But Maxi delivers pages because he's an all traditional, all inks guy. He's delivering something that delivers as a piece of art.
Yeah.
Each page. And so when you get the black and white, for me, I just fully love that.
Yeah, I'll bring that up in just a second as you go down.
Okay, you
But
got it.
I appreciate that.
And then the next item on the menu is the backpack. I just have the backpack only there because I put this on later, so that way if somebody had already backed it, you could just tag this.
Right.
What's an LL Bean book bag go for, Joe?
Oh, dude, LL Bean? I don't know,
Yeah.
probably 60 or something. No, it's expensive for my.
That's what I'm saying. You can take the nerds and the preps and like kick them to the curb with this monster backpack for
That's right.
cheaper than the LL Bean.
How about
Cheaper
a
than
Janus
LL
port?
Bean. It's water resistant. It's got a 15-inch laptop sleeve in there.
See, then now you can hack all their phones too with the monster backpack.
Yeah, you get it.
Where are you getting that one made, Adam? By the way.
So we have a vendor that's doing these one-offs. It's something that Shay's supplying.
Cool.
And I'll send it to you though, Joe. But they're awesome. So you can do small print runs with them, and but it's cool. It's a water-resistant shell. It's got a little pocket on the inside of the back. Stick your wallet and
I'm interested somewhat because I have some sort of I don't know. I have ideas. Just they're all over the place. So who knows?
Yes.
I love the backpack. That's awesome.
Yeah, and if you go down, this one is this one here for $80. You get the backpack and you get the book, and obviously all the digital, and
Good
your
mix.
and then maybe the best value I would think is this one, the original art, because you said you get the T-shirt, the ash can, and the book. So imagine that's $65 of that, and then so for $170 you're getting an original page. It's a 9x14 art board, so it's a pretty sweet deal as far as original pages pricing goes. So I think that's a pretty awesome thing.
That's what I was waiting for because when you bring up the black and white book, to me I can tell and I'm struggling with this right now on everything I do. I'm trying to find ways to get quicker, but don't lose my detail because right now I'm all traditional. I don't do digital. I'm a champion that way. But since all my stuff's traditional, I'm like, that's an extra thing that I have to do. We can sell it, but at the same time, going through all that detail and making it look good on its own is a totally different thing. So I appreciate that, with this artist, it actually comes off as like something you might be able to hang up or you really appreciate alone.
Well, if you scroll down a little bit, I can show a couple of the original pages here. You can see.
Oh, sorry, too far. My bad. Something happened. Okay.
Trigger finger over here.
Yeah, I know. So there we go. We were here.
Oh, I'm frozen on mine.
Here we go. You're frozen.
Yeah, I'm seeing. All right, it's kind of catching up now.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure me and Adam are good. Joe, are you good?
I'm solid. I'm seeing it all happen here.
I'm waiting. I see like a half colored page. Is that what we're looking for here? Looking at here.
So this is Nail and Goo. This is the ash can here. This is one of the
Okay.
pages from the ash can.
Cool. Cool.
There's a different artist. His name is Magnus. He's a Colombian guy, works for Capcom. Super awesome guy. He did this cover art for me for this game. He's usually a fantasy painter, but he's always wanted to do comics. And so,
Talented, yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Back,
that he's talented. But if you keep scrolling down here a bit on the page, you can start to see there's the rad T-shirt, and then we get into the book. Now the black and white book, and you start to see this is the pages that get delivered.
Yeah, hook me with a new tab there, Jerm, if you could.
Say it again.
Hook me with a new tab on that one, if you could.
Oh, word. Sorry, I just didn't understand what you said.
It's okay. It's okay.
Gotcha.
I think we're lagging a little bit, but it's all right. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So I can see.
You see, so he's delivering.
Clean.
Yeah, he's delivering it all, and this is lettered on top of it. You can see, but if you keep scrolling down, you can see there's another page, and I like to get the black and white books like this. Here's another page. You can see how beautiful that is delivered. What you're seeing is what's on his page at home, and I feel like that's oftentimes that kind of detailing, that kind of texturing in the background, right?
It's all digital afterward. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all digital afterwards. And I'm working on another book with another artist, and he was doing it all traditional, and then the background's digital. And I was like, they just don't fit together. The background looks fake, and the rest of it looks so tangible. And I feel like, in the new world of comics, it feels like, even though things are going more digital for many artists, really, I think the artists who are the most happy are people like Daniel Warren Johnson and James Herron, who are delivering these pages that they can sell for more than Marvel pays them to do the book, right? Because they're delivering these incredible pieces of art, and they're like their own inker in one. They don't separate those two roles, because I think that's the thing is, if you do pencils, it's hard to sell pencils, and if you do inks, you're not the originator, so it's not really yours. Right.
You got to get a deal with the penciler, yeah.
Right, and so it's a weird thing. Whereas in these pages, you can see Maxie doesn't do pencils. He does red line and then straight to inks, which is how a lot of these guys are doing it. They lop off one of the processes because it's just going to be them. But as a result, you get these works of art. You know what I mean? That come out, and for me, I feel like that kind of comic book artist has legacy in some ways. There are plenty of others that can do it another way. However,
it's really cool.
This way, I feel like you just live. Once again, you're Daniel Warren Johnson or James Herron, for example, with Ultra Mega. He sold each one of those 4 volumes for $50,000 a volume, all the pages. One collector said, "I'm going all in," and was scooping up the books. All pages, right?
Wow.
And it's like, that's not what he got paid to do that, because he did it for Image, so he got paid $0.00 for that. He made only commissions, right? And then what he could sell afterwards. But as a result, now all of a sudden he's financially in such a stronger position. And granted, it takes some legacy as an artist to get to that point. But then you have some intrinsic value that can't.
A lot of people call that, because I'm similar. A lot of people call that our 401k, artist 401k. It's like it's all we got, outside of our page rate. It's all we got, unless you have your own book, because then you can get the book sales. But if you're just working for somebody else, you don't have anything else but your originals. And so so like
that's if you get to keep them.
For sure.
Yeah, well, I think anybody that asks that's keeping your originals is that they should be paying you for those, because it's a little unfair. Like my artists who are doing traditionals, I ask usually for a couple of pages to be kept as legacy items, meaning I won't sell them, but I will keep them as legacy. So in 10 years, and we're at a convention, you can hang them up, So they exist
Right.
as art pieces.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the only fair way, to ask for it. And if the artist has like a really great sales, then forget it. They can just have them all. It's theirs.
Right.
But like, hey, I just want 1 or 2 pages so that way I have, there's something, but not for sale, because that kind of takes their money.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a tough thing to pull off. Right now, I'm selling all my originals with the page rate. I just up the page rate, like double the page rate or whatever I do.
Oh,
It's
sure.
kind of under. I give them a deal. I give whoever a deal.
Oh, that
That
works
way. Yeah, so I get a little bit, but you're kind of losing money in the end because with time the value of the piece gets more and more as the book gets more popular. But that's I guess that's why we call it the 401k. Either way, I think our time's up. We want to bring up the fact that like you can get this thing right now. Are you on your last set of 30 on your campaign?
Yeah, that's right. So this is coming to the end here, right? Well, I didn't actually do 2 sets of 30. I did 30 and then like 20, because like December 3rd will be the last day. And it's mostly just about, unfortunately, my bandwidth. I have another TV show at CW. It's taking over, and it's like, I'm going to disappear my own self. And
Right,
so
right.
I have to kind of throw it into in demand. And
That's
because
that's
this
a
is,
bad problem to have. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's great. It's great. I love working with them, but this is like my passion. These are my passion projects in many ways. It's crazy. I can do TV, and then you have another passion project. It's like, yeah, well, when you do TV, if anybody's ever made any TV or films, you realize in the process of that, because it's a collaborative art with big studios and lots of money, even though you might write or create something, by the end of it,
Highly altered. Yeah.
yeah, it's highly
Yeah,
altered, and
it's
also you have
different.
these great ideas that never make it, or
Mm.
a new company mandate, and then it's dumped. And so, this is a way to actually make the piece of art you wanted to, and you don't have to worry about it. You can just create your own special thing. So,
Yeah.
anyways, that's
A lot of control.
If you're still trying to shop this around during the final 23 days, Pop Van Zant does the Cromcom, and there's some slots open this weekend. So if you want to grab out, he's basically throwing that out there in the comments. So he's like,
Yeah,
just saying, five spots left. So
Yeah.
throw it out
Thank
there.
you.
Great at that.
I was on there last week. They're great.
No, Pops is great. Pops is a great guy. Big
For sure.
Pops. And
So-
Heron,
So, yeah,
thanks for dropping links, man.
You're doing a great, thanks. You're doing a great job, I guess, in just getting this book out there. I've heard about it for a while. Wanted to talk to you about it for a while now.
no, I'm super glad you did, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, so this
happy to
is
have
this is
you
Killer's
on.
go.
Yes.
I'm sure definitely a lot of us will be pushing this. You talking about what Chris Fisk says here? This is why we pursue indie comics, an unaltered creation that presents the creator's original visions. Indeed.
Yep.
And that's what we're getting here. This is what you're getting with Kids and Monsters. I highly suggest you go check it out for yourself if you haven't. It's pretty much, to me, it has that like genuine that I guess energy of like what it's like to be a young adult. You're like a young kid. It's got that energy just in the art, and then on top of that, it's got a cool concept. So
Love
it
it.
sold me. Thank
Love it.
Thank you.
Definitely get out there. I'm gonna switch over, do a couple more little promos, and we're gonna hop out. But look at this promo. Beck and Recourse. Sign up for Beck and Recourse, everybody.
Question about Beck.
sure.
How long did it take for you and your brother to make the video game side
The
of it?
prototype took us 2 years from him, and he was fresh. He's never done a video game before, so I showed him Unreal, gave him some test stuff, and we spent 9 hours together in Texas to work on it, and he got all my test art working. So he said, "Oh, am I your programmer now?" I said, "If you want to be." So I paper tested it. I wrote out all the rules like a tabletop RPG. So there's equations and all that stuff. And then I got him to basically set it up as a very cinematic, RPG front end that's being ran by the back end, mechanics. So I've got everything planned for. I crowdfunded it, but no one knew who I was. I didn't know that's kind of how it worked. So it didn't get funded. So now I'm spending my art to do a comic book series, and I love comic books now. I'm in it and liking the ability I've got to tell a story with it, and we'll get back to the game. And until then, the prototype's there, guys. So play the hell out of it, wish list the hell out of it, and back Beck and Recourse, back the books that are coming after. Recourse is just one of 3 books that start off that war, start off that action, that conflict. The MacGuffin of the One Ring is created in this first book, and then we got to get Frodo in the 3rd one on the journey. So go with
Nice
me
analogy.
with this. Well, actually, it's more like Bilbo, because this is the Hobbit. Or no, this is the Silmarillion. Sorry, the game's the Hobbit, and then I have a Lord of the Rings trilogy. Anyway, guys, go back and Recourse. You know,
sign up.
Sign up. Sorry, yes. Sign up. Back to Joe.
Can't back it. Yeah, yes. Back it eventually.
Wishlist the game on Steam if you got PC that work out great. And guys,
Indeed.
Be patient and subscribe to Zate Studios so you guys can watch me on Fridays and heckle me. You all can actually watch me draw all that stuff. So it's awesome.
Speaking of, Steven mentions.
Bring your mama jokes.
What?
Bring your mama jokes. We need more your mama.
Oh, yeah, on your
jokes
stream for sure, definitely.
Yeah. So if you've got them, bring them.
Steven's shown up for the first time. I believe I haven't seen you around.
Oh,
but
what's up, Steven?
Appreciate you coming on the stream. I can't wait for Star Circuit. I appreciate that as well.
Name.
Yeah, it's got like rolls off your tongue. We'll talk about Star Circuit real quickly while we're here. We're getting backers every week to trickle in. So we're getting close to 19,000. That would be amazing. And we're doing some solid work with it. We have, as always, the feature tiers always stayed the same. I didn't want to increase the price after we went in demand, but I recommend that. It's a hell of a book. It's a cyberpunk kind of adrenaline ride that you're really you're not expecting, I don't think, what you're gonna get. You're gonna get this like amalgamation of like hardcore like cyberpunk and racing mixed with like personal and relationship type of drama, and between those two things you're going to be kind of engrossed. I also have a 3D print. If you guys have not seen this thing before, check out that. It's very underpriced, so as we get down here, because it's lagging a little bit, $60 for this thing, very underpriced.
Give yourself a mushroom and show the bike off. Mushroom.
I got a couple to show. I'll show that off in just a second. $60 is pretty cheap though. I definitely highly suggest it. Everything, including the original art down here as well.
It's pretty epic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks, Adam. I also have an original art and the book combination down here, and those are also pretty cheap. So I recommend you go check it out before, especially before it gets to the next campaign, because I'm working on chapter 2. But yeah, this is all ready to go. It's at the printer. I've had printing issues. We had a stapling issue with the first one, so it's been delayed. However, it's coming out hopefully before the holidays here. That's what my goal is anyway. But a lot of it's out of your control at this point.
I heard that if Joe hits 25,000 with this first book, he's gonna get one of those Halloween costumes print of his character Atlas's costume and a helmet and one of those little tiny mini bikes you have to basically squat in a butterfly position to ride. We'll make a video. We'll stick it up.
Make a Star Circuit Jackass video.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So yeah, I want to show off the bike, like you said. So yeah, there's the bike. It's pretty incredible. It's a 3D print, resin print.
Heavy too.
Heavy and really big. It's like this thing is sturdy, and we built it like it will last, and it'll has the logo on there. It's got the company logo.
It's pretty cool, man.
For shin. Yeah, thanks. We really dig it.
Joe's 8'6", so imagine the size of that thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Also, I wanted, because you brought up other things, if you guys gotten the Visions book from John Malin, I've got a piece in that here's the original for it, which I showed off on Sunday. But this is, we talked about making original art that actually will stand on its own, and this is one of the pieces that I try to do with that. And I try to do that with all my pieces, but it brought it to mind, and I'll probably auction that off eventually. So,
wow, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's it. That's pretty much where the end of the show goes. We have got the art for you. We got Kids and Monsters. We got
Kids
Adam.
and Monsters.
Yeah. Hopefully we delivered.
Nice.
So Adam, last thing. I have this one thing here. This is the last thing before we
Please.
hop off this. And we have
God,
this
Joe,
one.
now what?
Yeah, it's called the Ultimate Art Guide.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's a compendium of things. It's an index of sorts. And I'm putting it together to help other people draw and write their own things. So we're just grabbing all the people's favorite resources. Like everybody that comes on will maybe contribute. If you got a favorite resource that you like using, maybe you have something to contribute, Adam. If not, it's all cool. But I'm putting it together slowly but surely, kind of organically here.
Yeah. I think that one of the books that was meaningful was Alan Moore's Writing for Comics.
Okay.
Was a meaningful book for me as well. And what was the name of that? Let me just give you the name of the other one about lettering, because I do my own lettering.
Okay.
And so let me get you the name of that book also, and I forget that.
Booyah.
It's comic book lettering. It's just the name of it. So Essential Guide to Comic Book Lettering.
Okay.
It's illustrator based, so if you're a clip studio guy like myself, it's less meaningful because it's really tech heavy on that side.
Right.
But it's great on rules. Also, the Blambot website is probably the best place to go to learn about lettering.
You said it's an essential guide for, I know I said guy.
To comic book lettering. It's called the Essential Guide to Comic Book Lettering.
Cool.
He's notarized. He's putting it on the list. I'm looking at the links for him. So
cool. Yeah, we'll throw those in.
Sending him in private.
I've read the Alan Moore Writing for Comics, and you actually touched on one of the big, I guess, things I pulled from his book is the whole pretty much don't try to give that exposition forced into the character dialogue, but that's one of the things I pulled from his Writing for Comics. Just
how would
organically.
You do that? How would you do that if your narration is first person?
Well, you still don't want to just say facts about your world building. Just talk about what the character would talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I mean, you can kind of sneak in some exposition as long as it sounds natural to their thought process. Correct.
Yeah. You don't want to be like, you don't want to say specific things in the world when you could just say that thing, or you don't want to talk about I don't know, like how the economic system works.
I love how you generalize things.
Yeah,
I love it. All right, keep moving. Let's move along.
All right.
So let's finish up. Thanks for the input for the Ultimate Art Guide. We're building it slowly. I'm going to be putting out the link for this is also in the description. Adam, do you have any last maybe piece of advice for anybody out there new to comics, and then we'll get out of here? Do you have anything?
No, I mean, comic books are a really exciting place to create and to be in, and this community is rad because we help and lift each other, and that's a really rare thing. So although it maybe doesn't have, like we talked about, it doesn't necessarily pay what commercial advertising pays, but it pays you in other emotionally and mentally satisfying dividends that are worth it.
It's full of love and
expression.
Yeah,
I've been chasing the dragon for a while, and it's a hell of a ride. I think everyone would agree who gets in it.
Puff or
totally.
Maybe both.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank
you.
Appreciate it.
You're actually
appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, thank you very much.
Noah was saying, looks like Jeremy's just sitting there getting schooled or getting lectured by his school teacher. It's like, Noah, that's what listening to your betters looks like. So learn.
Yeah, being humble. Yes.
Yeah, being humble. I learned a lot just from listening. It's beautiful. Watch the 13th Warrior. You'll learn what you can do out of listening.
Pretty good movie. I like it.
Good point.
I'll definitely be in contact with you, Adam, see how everything's going later on. But Jeremy, it's been a good week. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Support Kids and Monsters. Go sign up for Beck and Recourse. As always, go back Star Circuit if you got some time. And, we'll see you next week for another Art Bros.